Climate change is a global problem and requires a global solution. In recent years, addressing climate change has been high on the international policy agenda. There is now a consensus that to prevent global warming from reaching dangerous levels, global action is required to control and mitigate the problem. Climate change is already affecting Southeast Asia and impacting many economic sectors. It has affected the quantity and quality of water resources. Extreme weather events such as droughts, flooding, and tropical cyclones are increasing in frequency and intensity, and have contributed to a decline in the production of grains and industrial crops, fish supplies, and forest harvests. The region is struggling against the loss of its arable lands and coastal areas due to a rise in the sea levels, more frequent storm surges, and heightened coastal erosion. Climate change would also have significant impact on human health. The number of deaths from thermal stress causing respiratory diseases will increase in the region. A significant proportion of the population has been affected by the outbreak of malaria and dengue. All these are predicted to worsen due to increased warming, changes in precipitation patterns, and sea level rise. Southeast Asia is sensitive to the direct impacts of climate change, in view of the heavy dependence of its economies on natural resources, especially agriculture, forestry, and coastal and marine resources. And it is the poor of Southeast Asia that are most vulnerable to climate change. Its impact will exacerbate poverty, particularly by constraining the income and earning capacity of the poor and their opportunities for progress.
The agriculture sector would suffer severely under climate change. In Southeast Asia, the yield potential for rice will decline by about 50% on average toward the end of this century. Corn and soybean production would also decline. Water stress or shortage and the decline in agricultural production would pose a serious threat to the region's long-term food security and livelihoods, especially to the poor. The Chinese government is currently seeking to emulate Sweden through the use of road charging in order to reduce the quantity of greenhouse gas emissions from cars. Imposing a road tax has the effect of increasing the marginal cost of production. In addition to paying for the vehicle and fuel costs for traveling, commuters now have to pay tax every time they pass through certain key roads. As a result,
a subsidy is a payment made by the government to producers to encourage the production of certain goods, but not in exchange for any goods or services. In general, a subsidy has the effect of decreasing the marginal cost of production. A subsidy can be thought of as a negative tax. Thanks to a subsidy, producers will now need a lower price to offer the same quantity for sale. By granting a subsidy to environmentally friendly products, the economy encourages the production of those goods. A decrease in the production costs of a good will provide an incentive for both producers and consumers to switch in favor of the subsidized products. With improvements in energy efficiency, the economy will produce less greenhouse gas emissions and help reverse global climate change. The government also promotes green information services such as handbooks and e-learning programs in energy conservation, energy clinics, and energy display centers. The Thailand Greenhouse Gas Management Organization initiated eco-labeling,